You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
Right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, this is pretty interesting. We've got a all-time Steelers alumni, Ravens alum, Raiders alum, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Rod Woodson coming out and just making a statement saying enough is enough. It's time for the Steelers to move on from Aaron Rodgers. He's got a massive problem with, it seems, how Brett Favre handled things after leaving the Packers, and now with how Aaron Rodgers is handling things post-Packers career as well. And, of course, the big deal here is Rodgers has not announced that he's coming back to the Steelers. Again, guys, my opinion on this has been what? I think he's done exactly what he did last year. We found out after the fact that Mike Tomlin had known that Aaron Rodgers was coming to the Steelers, that Rodgers had already told him, I'm coming. I don't want to sign a contract yet because, there's a couple of dates that I don't want to be a part of, and I got some things to do, and I don't want that to become an issue when I'm not present and accounted for during said things. This is something that we see a lot from a lot of veterans. All right. Now, if you're a Lamar Jackson who's never won shit and you skip some dates, I got a problem with that. If you're a 4-time MVP that's won a Super Bowl, I don't so much have an issue with it. And you're 42 years old, something like that. But Rod Woodson's got a real problem with it. And Rod Woodson sounds like he's done with Aaron Rodgers. And we got some video from this. By the way, guys, Rod Woodson, look at this. 11-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro. I mean, good God, 71 interceptions. And let me show you something that is wild. He played till he was 38. He had a season with the Raiders at 37 years old. He started 16 games and had 8 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes. This guy had 12 pick sixes in his career. That's out of control. I mean, that is insane. Was a all-pro first team at 37 years old. And he did what a lot of cornerbacks ought to think about doing. He switched to free safety and played 5 more years. A productive 5 more years. I mean, he had 11, 14, good God, 22, 24 interceptions from 34 to 38 years old as a free safety in the National Football League. I mean, that's serious. Hall of Fame defensive back, an 87 first-round pick of the Steelers, who spent a decade in Pittsburgh, recently chimed in on his former team's willingness to leave the light on for 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. He was on with Rich Eisen. Let's listen.
Do you expect Rodgers to be the guy there? What do you think?
What is it with these ex-Green Bay Packer quarterbacks that they have to be talked about all the time? Because Brett Favre was that way for years. Remember how we just had to talk about Brett Favre and talk about Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers.
You and I spend a lot of time on NFL Total Access talking about Brett Favre, sir. A number of times you watch me call Susie and say, I'm not going to be there for another 3 hours. Right? You watch me make those phone calls from the set of Total Access, Rod.
So I'm like, is he going to play? Listen, I get kind of tired of it. Like, listen, if he's going to play, say he's going to play, he's going to come back. He shouldn't, and the team shouldn't wait for Aaron Rodgers. They need to move forward.
It may not be him too, though, Rod. He went on Pat McAfee's show last week and said there's no contract in front of me. So there's nothing for him to look at. You know what I mean?
So him and his ex-coach aren't that tight?
They apparently are, though. I can't. I don't know because there's Will Howard that's there, right? Mason Rudolph is always available for them, it seems.
He's going to be there forever.
Right. And then I don't know, 21st overall pick, there's Rodgers.
Yeah. Listen, last year, Rich, they should have took Jaxson Dart. He fell to them. It was the best opportunity for them to take a quarterback who has that swag that can kind of fit into that Steeler mold and that Steeler culture and have that standard. And they took the defensive end.
All right. We're going to stop it right there, but that's something I said on this channel. I thought the Steelers would draft Jaxson Dart, to be downright honest with you. I really did. I thought that's where he was going. And then they passed on him, and that looks like that's going to bite him in the ass. And in all honesty, Jaxson Dart in a Steelers uniform, I mean, that's he's got that attitude. He does. He would have fit in there real well. So I was surprised when they didn't do that. All right. Even with Aaron Rodgers, kind of, but I don't know. They decided not to do that. Now, the Rodgers thing, they made the playoffs. Mike Tomlin got tired of his run. I think when they hired Mike McCarthy, in my opinion, that was the sign that, hey, we want Rodgers to be able to stick with the offense he knows inside and out. All right. And then when they went, you really want to tell about whether Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Do you really believe they trade for Michael Pittman Jr. if Will Howard is going to be the quarterback? And by the way, I wouldn't mind seeing how that kid could play. But I think that told you DK, Rico Dottle, Michael Pittman Jr. That told you they're loading up a little bit here. They may load up in the draft. They could go out there and grab another there's some big time receivers in this draft. First round receivers, they could grab another one. I think they already know. Just like last year, I think they already know if Rodgers is coming. I'll probably drop this video and he'll announce his retirement. But you get my point. I think they already know if he's coming. I don't think it's been made public. My guess is Art Rooney II and Mike McCarthy are the only other two people besides Aaron Rodgers that already knows he's coming to play football. So they're sitting back going, now, does that suck for Joe Flacco? Does it suck for Kirk Cousins? Yeah, because I think it might have been Albert Breer yesterday that said those two guys may actually be waiting on Aaron Rodgers right now to make a decision. And that's why they haven't signed with anybody, because everybody knows Kirk Cousins is the Steelers' fallback plan. If something goes awry and all of a sudden, and I do believe it would be a mind change. I think if Rodgers decides not to come back, it will be because he changed his mind. That's my gut feeling. Like, as of right now, they already know he's coming back, just like last year, but if he decides not to come back, all of a sudden, you don't look so great. Because I'm sure that would come out at some point that he had committed to the Steelers behind the scenes, and then he changed his mind. Well, that'll come out. That'll surface if it happens. Kind of interesting, though. Steelers all-time are going, we're done. I'm done with this crap. Took a shot at Brett Favre, too. What the hell, man? Sounds to me like he's got more of a personal issue with, with everybody. I went back to look at the timeline. I mean, really wasn't enough time. He wasn't around with Rodgers. Now, Brett Favre may have burned his ass a few times, judging by the timeline of Rod Woodson's career. But, shit, Favre threw so many interceptions. I ain't no telling I don't know how many times Woodson might have got him, It could have been more than once. I would assume he picked off Brett Favre with that many interceptions, 71. Shit. I was sitting in some house in East Texas somewhere, and Brett tried to throw one to me one time. Oh, tell me what you think. Is Aaron Rodgers coming? Are you already sick of this? I contend people's making a thing out of this when there's nothing to make a thing out of. I don't know. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.